We have some special guests in the studio right now, and I'm very excited because I'm a fan of this band. Turbo Street Funk are a new band in town. Daniel Walsh and Casey Von Gorkum. Man, Casey, you have a cool name. They joined me in the studio. Daniel, first question for you, my friend. Turbo Street Funk. How did this concept come about? Did the Heavyweights brass band inspire you in any way?
To a certain degree, yeah. Like the way that we kind of went about it was, it started out as a jam session actually on the street, and then there was one day where we all came out and we we made a little bit more than beer money, and we were like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should go and not get crappy part-time jobs, and then we just street performed for now. It's our 4th year.
Amazing. And when you talk, I mean, Turbo Street Funk, it just makes sense to me because when you're in New Orleans, everywhere you go, there's funk on the street. Yeah. And there's music everywhere, brass bands everywhere.
Yeah.
Have you been down to New Orleans?
I wish I could be. I've never been there, and it's definitely one of my life ambitions. Casey, I don't know what your feelings are.
Yeah.
No, I've never been either, but it's on my bucket list. Well, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, bucket. You're too young to have a bucket list right now. Just go. Tell me a little bit about the formation of the band. You're saying you started as a jam. How do you decide who's in the band and who's not in the band?
Well, it started as whoever showed up. It was quite easy, and the core group kind of gelled out of that, and then we had some other friends who wanted to get involved, and they slowly joined in as well. It was very kind of laissez-faire.
Well, how many people are actually in the band? When you sell a record, how many people do you have to pay?
Six people.
Only 6?
Yeah.
Well, that's very reasonable.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about George Kohler. He produced this record, and being a member of the Shuffle Demons, he knows a thing or two about playing on the street.
He sure does.
All around the world.
Yeah. George has been a huge help to us. We couldn't have done any of this without him, and we met George through Richard Underhill, who found us playing on the street. He came up to us on his bike. He said, "Are you those guys who play Spadina Bus?" And we were like, "Maybe, depends." We said, "He's the guy. He's the guy." And he said, "Yeah, that's cool." And we're like, "Oh, great!" So we sort of developed a friendship with Rich, and we opened for the Shuffle Demons at their CD release. And Rich came to us and said, "It's about time you make a record. I'll introduce you to George." And the rest is Turbo Street history.
Amazing. And you know, Richard Underhill is running for mayor. I don't know if he's going to continue. He may say, "I'm going to back down and give the vote away" or whatever. But if he does, he calls himself the sax player for the taxpayer. I think that's very clever. You guys have some shows coming up?
We do. We're playing tonight in Stratford at Molly Bloom's.
Amazing.
We're trying to spread our wings and fly to Southern Ontario. So we're trying to get out of town a little bit. And then on the 2nd of July, the day after Canada Day, we're playing at Monarch's Pub at the Eaton Chelsea Hotel.
Oh, you know, that place is, they book some great music. Tonight, Irene Torres is playing. I'm going to pop by there later. We're going to talk more about that pub.
We actually have one more. We've got this Thursday, we're going to be at Alley Cats with Art.
With Art?
Art, which is a small, like, 4-piece thing with some Humber guys that we know, and they're going to be, I think they're opening for us, or we're opening for them. It'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, we're going to be up to that.
All right. I think we're having some trouble finding some of our music here. Okay, we're going to get to one of your songs, but I want to tell you, we're going to play Ghostbusters, but I also want to ask you guys, because, and this just came out of the blue a few seconds ago before we went live to air. You mentioned something about Joe Pesci and how if anyone could get away singing with jazz hands, it would be Joe Pesci. What made you say that?
Because Joe Pesci is a tough guy. That, you know what? No one who is anything short of Joe Pesci tough can get away with jazz hands.
Well, I agree. If he ever did jazz hands, he'd look very manly doing it. But what you didn't know is that we have a recording of Joe Pesci singing with Joey DeFrancesco, and he's absolutely amazing. We're going to get to Joe Pesci singing jazz in just a moment. But first, here we go. Turbo Street Funk and Ghostbusters on Jazz FM 91.
Something strange in your neighborhood, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. If there's something weird and it don't look good, keeps things running through your head. Now, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Yeah!